There's a weight that no leader talks about enough, a silent, gnawing burden that suffocates the fire inside even the strongest of founders, investors, and visionaries. It's the invisible chains of control, the illusion that holding tight to every detail, every outcome, every tiny piece of power somehow guarantees success. But deep down, everyone knows it doesn't. The more that grip tightens, the harder it becomes to breathe, to think, to lead. Because true leadership isn't about clutching every moment. It's about letting go. It's radical. It's terrifying. And it's the one thing that might just save everything you're building. Look around. The systems you trust? Hollow. They promise control, stability, even freedom, but deliver confusion, constraint, and silent desperation. Every day, leaders are trapped in a maze of schedules, decisions, pressures, opinions, and rules. They wrestle not with the future, but with their own need to control the present. Holding on as if letting go means failure, chaos, losing face. But it's the other way around. Holding on is what kills creativity. It's what traps teams in fear, shuts down innovation, and drains every ounce of human energy that fuels extraordinary things. Imagine what could happen if you didn't have to hold it all. If the pressure to micromanage every detail could be dropped, just for a moment. Not out of weakness, but out of strength. What if true power wasn't about squeezing tighter, but about opening your hands, trusting the unknown, and stepping back enough to see where real magic starts? What if leadership isn't about control, but about faith in the people, the process, the possibility beyond the roadmap you're clutching so hard? This is not some soft advice for the tired or hesitant. It's a call for the brave, for those who refuse to live a life borrowed from someone else's script. Because letting go, the real letting go, is the rebel act. It is the refusal to be shackled by the world's lies about what leadership should look like. It is the step beyond the rulebook, the title, the neat boxes that try to define you. It's the doorway to a kind of freedom that feels like fire and ice at the same time. Pure terror mixed with pure hope. The pain you feel, the burnout, the loneliness, the endless noise in your head, that comes from carrying too much on your own shoulders, trying to be everywhere at once, trying to be perfect. It's not a sign that you're weak. It's a signal. A neon sign blinking with one message. You're being asked to surrender, to trust that you are more than your control, that your value doesn't vanish when you don't manage everything, that your vision can be larger, grander, when the grip is loosened and others are invited to build alongside you. This doesn't mean stepping back and disappearing. It means stepping back wisely. It means becoming the kind of leader who knows how to read the room, the moment, the energy of those around you. It means moving from boss to conductor, from commander to guide. Instead of draining the world around you with your endless demand for assurance, you become a source of inspiration and trust. You create space for others so they can rise, take risks, and own their piece of the future you're all trying to shape. How do you start? First, by acknowledging where the chains are, the ways you've been trained to believe that control equals leadership. The emails that make your chest tighten, the meetings where you insist on being the final voice, the hesitations to delegate because no one else would do it right. Once you see those chains for what they are, you can start loosening them. Start small. Let a trusted team member own a project completely without hovering. Let an idea bloom that isn't yours, even if it scares you. Let a decision unfold that has an outcome beyond your control. Watch what happens. It's terrifying at first, yes. But there's a rush that follows, the thrill of watching trust grow, watching things work without your fingers on every switch. It's transformative. You begin to see yourself not as a solo fighter, but as a hub in an incredible web of talent and passion, where your true role is to connect, amplify, and fuel. And the more you let go, the more the right people gather around you. Not because you demand it, but because they're drawn to the space you've created. You become the magnet for the rare, the misunderstood, the exceptional, the ones who refuse to settle and who will torch the status quo with you. There's a myth that leadership means always being the strongest, the loudest, the most certain. But strength doesn't come from squeezing tighter. It comes from knowing when to relax your hold and let something new emerge. The kind of strength that lasts is the one that's patient, that understands that real change is messy, unpredictable, and born in the surrender to something greater than personal control. This is how legacies are built, not by clutching power, but by releasing it to create space for the unprecedented. And here's the secret that all the systems and rulebooks hide. The most radical acts of leadership are invisible. They don't look like speeches or executive orders. They look like quiet moments of trust, letting others shine. They look like stepping into uncertainty with your eyes wide open. They look like the willingness to be vulnerable, to admit you don't have all the answers, and to lean hard into the power of collective brilliance. No one tells you this because the world needs you to keep holding on. It profits from your fear of letting go. But what if the real revolution is inside that act of surrender? What if the keys to the future you crave, innovation, alignment, unstoppable momentum, are locked in your ability to release control and open space for others to fill? This is how you stop being a prisoner of the system and start becoming a creator of what's next. There will be resistance. The voice inside saying, if I lose this grip, it all falls apart. That voice is a lie. Systems break when you hold on too tight, not when you let go. People step up when given trust, not orders. Creativity flows when constraints loosen, not tighten. What you've been told about leadership is backwards. The people who change the world are not clutching the reins. They're handing them off, inviting others to ride alongside, and joining the ride in a way that only a true leader can. This is why the rare, the exceptional, the ones who burn with a different fire, aren't found in the noisy centers of control. They're at the edges, the margins, the places where comfort ends. True leadership starts where control ends, where there's courage to lean into the unknown, with a team that believes the future is something you build together, not something you own alone. So the question isn't, can you let go? The real question is, are you brave enough to lead by trusting something bigger than your own will? Are you ready to break the patterns that have kept you small and step into a realm where your influence is multiplied beyond measure? Because the moment you release the need to control every outcome, you unlock the power to influence every possibility. This is where leadership becomes real, not in holding tight, but in opening wide, not in being the sole voice, but in being the spark that ignites 1,000 voices, not in guarding your vision as a fortress, but in sharing it as a flame that others are invited to carry alongside you. It's not for the faint of heart. It's only for those who burn so hot they know the only way forward is through fire. And fire can't burn unless it's fed. So stop fighting so hard to control everything. Start seeing what happens when you step back, trust deeply, and let the future come through the people and the moments you can't predict. The power you seek, freedom, greatness, transformation, is not in your hold, it's in your release. The rare among you already know this. You're not afraid of the edge because you live there. And from that edge, the world changes. If the fire is burning too low, if the loneliness is crushing, if the weight feels unbearable, it's because the system wants you tied down, small, shut off. But you are not made for smallness. You are made to burn, to lead, to let go. So something more magnificent than control can take over. It's not about losing yourself. It's about finally finding who you truly are, beyond the chains, beyond the noise, beyond the lies. Let go. Lead unleashed. The world is waiting for what only you can free.